Hey everybody, it's Kathy again. I wanted to bring you a craft today. It's really not a craft, it's sort of like a hack, sort of like a fix hack. But anyway, this is a stamp set that I'm going to lay this on a piece of white paper so that you can see it better. This is a stamp set. It's called Spread Your Wings stamp set, and this is by Tracy and Bill Phillips. They have a store called Mindless Crafting, and Tracy has a YouTube channel, Gift Basket Appeal, and I have a couple of her, more than a couple of her stamp sets, and the one thing I noticed when I first got them was that the acetate was connected. I thought, wow, I love that. I never have to worry about losing this piece. I never have to worry about trying to fit it back on there evenly. And I thought, this looks like it's been put together. Why couldn't I do that? So what I did is I have a lot of May stamp sets, and I haven't done all of them yet. So what I do is, as I use them, I will use my little hack, and I'll show you what I do. I take a sheet of acetate. This is just like this is thin acetate. It's about the same weight as the backing on the stamp sets are. You can buy this. I think this is actually what you use in the overhead projectors. This can also be used as a cover for a report. Any type of acetate that you can get in sheets like this. What I do is I trim it down. I'll put it in my trimmer, and I trim it down to 4 inches because we all know these stamp sets are 4 by 6, and the top portion is where I want to connect this. So what I do is I just cut me a strip of 4 inches, and then I cut it this way in 2-inch pieces. So 2-inch pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and cut a few of them, because when I do this, I usually will cut several pieces, and I'll stick them somewhere where I know where they're at, and then as I get my stamp sets, or as I use one that hasn't been fixed, I will use one of these strips to attach it. So as you can see, there is a tiny bit of waste over the end, but I'm keeping these because I'm thinking of a way that I could fix those. So never throw away anything that you might be able to use, right? That's the rule in crafting. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I do in order to make this work. I take my strips, my 2-inch strips that I cut, and I put them in my scoreboard, and because I cut them 2 inches, I score them at 1 inch. So get my little score tool, and I usually use the sharper end of my score tool. You've got the bigger ball on one end and the smaller ball. I use the smaller ball because acetate. Another thing too you want to remember is to hold tight to your acetate, because it does have a tendency to want to slip and slide because it is, you know, a plastic. And I go down, not hard enough to cut it. You don't want to cut it, but you do want to get a good bend on it. So there you go. You can see it's not, acetate is not one of the easier materials to work with, but you can see my bend. So what I do at this point, while it's still laying pretty flat, I'll take some sticky tape, score tape, any type of 2-sided tape. Whoops, that's the wrong one. That was not the right one. Any type of 2-sided tape. Now, you don't have to use a piece quite this wide, but I am for the demo. And what I do is I put a piece down on each side, close to the edge. Get my little block here to tear it. And then I turn it over, and I do the same thing on this other side. Just put your piece of sticky tape down, And if you go over the edge, it's not a big deal. We'll just roll that back in on itself and we'll make that work. So at that point, I will take my bone folder and I'll really give this a good rub because you really want it to adhere to the acetate. So once I get that done, then I'm going to turn this over and make sure that it's folded right in the center. Now this is where I really want to use my bone folder and get a very good crease because you want this to lay flat when you put your stamp set into it. I guess you can see where I'm going with this, right? So now you've got this little piece like this. So I'm going to tear this one off first since it's a little bit of overlap there. So we're going to lift this up, tear it off. Now don't take them both off. I just take the bottom one off first. And I'm going to take my finger and just roll that back up in there. There we go. And now here's one of my stamp sets. This is S'more Jesus, and it's one of the scripture stamp sets from May. And I am going to turn that over to where my tape that I've already torn the backer off is up. The one that I haven't is down. The one that's down makes it easy to slide that in. So you just want to push it in till you get to the fold. And I hope I'm in camera shot. And then you mash that down. Give it a good mash because you want it to adhere very well. Then you're going to turn it over and you're going to release the sticky tape from the other side, or the backer I should say, off of your sticky tape. And then you're going to press that side down. If you want to, you can use your bone folder and go over it. Just don't mash hard enough where you're going to damage your stamps. That's not the purpose of this. Now what's going to happen now, you can turn this over and you can pull this back. You can get your stamps off. You never have to worry about hunting down that backer piece, and you never have to worry about getting these perfectly straight. What I'm talking about getting them perfectly straight, you know, when you take these off like this and you're trying to get it back on there and it starts to stick and then it's lopsided like that, and then you take it back off and you're trying to line it back up. Time consuming when you could be crafting. I mean, you can do it, and it's probably not one of the biggest things, but the biggest thing I think is losing the back of your acetate sheet that protects your stamps. So this is a little hack. I'm going to do one more to show you once again exactly how I did this, because I think a lot of times the best teacher is repetition. We do know that practice makes perfect, so that's always a good thing. My 2-inch acetate, 2x4. Put it in, hold it really tight, score it at 1 inch, score it really good, take it out, using your sticky tape. You want to lay your sticky tape down as close to the edge as you can on both sides. I just came up with this because, what is it, the mother of invention is necessity. When I saw the stamp sets that had the piece connected, like I said, I just fell in love with this system. And I thought, this is nothing but 2 pieces of acetate that's been glued together. And I thought, I can do that. So I made it work, and I was so thrilled when I was able to do this because it just made life easier for me. Yeah, it's a little investment because you're going to have to buy the acetate, and you're going to have to invest in the sticky tape, but it is so nice to be able to stick these down one time, and it is an investment because your stamp sets. You know what I didn't do? No problem. Us crafters know how to get around things that we didn't do. We're just going to stick this back down on the sticky side of my tape. get it there. Yeah, I think that'll work. I did not burnish this down, so let's go back and see if we can get a nice fold on that. We know we need to do that because we want that crease there. There we go. Okay, now we can take this up. It all worked out. So if you forget, and sometimes we do, especially when I'm filming because I'm talking, and you know, sometimes when you're talking, you don't think ahead, you just kind of react and do. All right, then we're going to release this side and seal it down. It is a wonderful tip. I think it is. Maybe I think so because I came up with it. And who knows, maybe somebody else had already thought of this. I don't know. I haven't seen this out there. I haven't seen anybody else do it. So I may not be an exclusive of mine, but nevertheless, it's a great tip that works. And I hope that sharing that with y'all will help you in keeping your stamp backers on and keeping up with your stamps. And we all love our stamps so much, we don't want anything to happen to them. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're liking my videos and you want to continue to follow me, please subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell so that you will get notified when I put up new videos. Thank you so much, and as I always tell you, tell someone you love how much they mean to you, and smile, make somebody's day, give a compliment, show someone how nice you can be, but do it because it's coming from your heart and not just a routine thing. Kindness goes so far. So until we meet again, have a very blessed day, and thanks again for tuning in. Bye-bye.